So the other days I was connecting the core lower down from here, here, and neck. And today I'm going to connect it from the feet up. Because really, the core connects into the arch, into the groin, into the pubic bone, and up. And this is why when you have a collapsed arch, you're a lot of times, most of the time, people's core will drop too because it's all connected. So I'll show you what I mean by this. So if I relax, right now, my thighs turn out. And because my thighs turn out, I'm not connected at all to, like my hamstrings aren't connected and there's a shortening in the back of my legs. So this caused me to dip forward. So what I need to do is I need today to work on connecting the groin so I can pull up the pubic bone and get everything going. So if right now you take a look at my knees, okay? So as I pull the groin in, my knees will start turning straight. Okay, and this is what you need for walking to propel, for squatting, is you don't just want to push out at the knees because then it didn't change your thighs and it didn't change your hips. You want the tension connected from your groin to your core, and then from here, this pressure through the core allows the hips to push out. So I'll show you at the back too, right? So if I'm here and I'm relaxed, right? There's tension here, no back, not really much of a butt. And then as I connect the groin and pull out, I'm balanced in the feet. So then when I'm balanced in the feet, I can, from the middle, pull the core up. So I'll show you that like that. So here I am, balanced from the feet, right? So here I'm relaxed. You can tell, little pooch going on. And it has to do with the feet as well. So then, as I turn in, balance the feet, I can get the lift up, like the water fountain. Remember, deep water fountain. So center, I'm trying to lift from the center up to the tips of the shoulders here, and feel it in the head as well, that lift in the head. So watch, relax, push up. Take a look at my knees, right? Here, relax, push up. Okay, so what I need to do today is I actually need to roll out the side of the legs back here, and I need to roll out the arch of the foot. So I'm gonna start right here because I actually have a little bit of pain. So I'm gonna go lower arch for me. I'm gonna place a little ball right there and just hold it. 2 minutes or so to try to get this core line going today. So still doing core. So what I've consistently done was I've consistently tried to do core work. And today I'll talk about not lifting up so much so that your pubic bone tucks under and your back flattens, but keeping a neutral pelvis to keep a neutral spine and then do the lift. Good. So right here, I got the inside of the arch. Okay, so now I'm gonna do the 45. So when you sit, right, the legs go out, but think of all that tension going into the back of the legs. So in order to get that, I'm actually going to go on the ground, I'm gonna roll out, and then I'm actually gonna turn my foot into it, and I'm gonna try to roll up all of this line right here. So I'll lower this down a bit. Okay, perfect. So I'll take a bigger ball. And if you guys want these balls, I have them on my website at Movement Connection Clinic. I just love the product. It's not my product specifically, but it is great because if you use something too hard, your muscles tense up and you really want to go into it nice and easy. So here I am, right? And then I'm actually going to lean forward and get into it this way. So it's almost like I'm not on the IT band, but I'm in between the back of the IT band. So the IT band is on the side of the leg. So I'm rolling out back of the hamstrings, outside hamstring, and like inside of IT band. So that's where I'm putting the ball, and this is what I'm rolling out. So this line is, I would say, pretty much tight on everyone because we sit and we roll out, and that's why, especially if you have hamstring tears or anything like that, or hamstring issues, then you really got to get in here because like research has shown that a lot of times the hamstrings aren't working right is because they're flared out and they need to be connected with the groin to connect with the core to get that propelling motion. Good, so I'm doing this one. And this is because, watch, if I lie down and if I relax, right, you can see my legs turn out naturally and my feet kind of, I'd say like turn out as well, but my toe on my right points forward more. And this toe issue on my right and my right side of my foot is actually causing my line from my neck and from my ribs to drop. So I'll show you here as I push out. And you can see I'm actually not moving my neck, but as I push my heel away, my neck moves a little bit from collapse to my right side to straight. And that's why I'm doing this right here. Good. So I'm going to actually do an exercise pushing my heels away, lengthening my groin line, and allowing them to turn in to help connect the core here and then move. Okay, so with this, if you have, this is another thing to do is to connect the groin. So if you relax, right, and you have the extra, I'd say like extra skin hanging on the thighs, right, it just means that you're turned out and you're collapsed. So as you're working out, the groin is not pulling up and is not working in sequence with you. So this is gonna help get rid of this. If you're collapsed the other way and your feet are turned in too much and your groin, you have too much of a space in your groin, then a lot of times you'll get that cellulite on the sides. So to fix that, you have to open up the other way. You have to release the groin. But for most people, they need to strengthen the groin so that way they can release the outside of the legs and start connecting. Okay, so from here, I'm gonna get the other side as well. So 45 degrees, other side. Good. And I'll show you where I'm going today. Yeah, just rolling out. This is tight. This is really tight. I mean, especially on the left. All right. So if you have cellulite on the extra cellulite or skin on the inside of the legs, right? It means that you have to start lifting and working the groin. And if you have it on the outside of the legs, it means you need to turn out and start working the outside of the legs. But it's all positional, it's all biomechanic. And this is key for me to work this because right now, even if I lift the core, if my groin is tight, and if it's tight and it's dropped and it's pulling down, I'm never gonna get that lift through the core like I want. Okay. So we'll do the outside. Now I'm gonna do that same thing where I'm going to push. Oh, I made a recenter. Sorry, guys. Okay. So now I'm gonna push my feet away, push my heels away. Good. Okay, so you see this in the core. So here I am. Good. As I push my heels away, you can see I have this extra here. As I push, I get that length that I want. So that's key. And now I'm trying to get my thighs turned in so it connects to the pubic bone. So my first exercise, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the ball, I'm going to place it in between the arches of my feet. And as I push my heels away, okay, I'm going to get that length in the core. And I'm going to hold it. And I want you to really feel this, and then I'm going to breathe. And as what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to pull the baby toes towards me, trying to get all the feet even, and I'm really trying to get that inside of the heel pushed away so I can stretch the stomach and get the groin lengthened. So here we go. One more time. A lot of times when I do this to my clients, they'll start shaking in here because rolled out, pooch, and as I turn my feet, as I push in, it flattens. So it's almost like this, the TP, right? It's here, and as I push out and turn in, right, it starts to come in evenly there. You can see it, relax, pushed away. Good. So the next part of it is I'm actually going to lift my leg and I want to roll my thighs in so that I can get the tension through my, I'd say through my lower abdominal cavity, but then to push out against my hip bones here. Okay? So what I'm doing is as I push my feet into the floor, as I push my big toe down, I'm allowing my thighs to turn in from the stomach and feel my core. So here I go. Okay, so legs are in. Okay, I'm gonna get my lift, not flatten, turn in and breathe. I'm gonna take this into two exercises. So I'm gonna take this groin hold, right? And I can tell like I still need to roll out here. It's not just the tissues aren't just gonna magically like turn in and open, right? Like, especially for me, I have these issues because like, so I have 2 ACL injuries here, right? From sports and everything. So when they redid my knees, they took the tissues in the back of my legs and they ripped them out and they put them in my knees. So now I find that it's even more prominent. I have like a hole in my hamstring and I really need to get those tissues moving and promoted. So that 45 roll is really going to be key for me here. Okay, so feet, groin, right? Core flattened. So this is key. I want my pelvis in neutral. So if you rock your pelvis all the way back, right? That's completely flattening it. And if you work out with your core with the pelvis completely flat, all you're doing is just opening up the discs in your back, and then you could herniate a disc, right? If you're too arched, then you have another issue where the spine is processing, so the bones are smashing into each other, and then you can have arthritis or have pain that way, right? Or you can have a herniation. So in the stomach. So what we want is we want a neutral pelvis. So rock all the way forward, all the way back, all the way forward, all the way back. And I want you to find your neutral so you have a little bit of an arch. From there, you're going to push your feet in, turn your thighs in, and like I said, getting that, and then getting the lift up. Tiny pull up. So here, relax. Okay, feet, groin. As I get the groin, it pushes it out, and now I'm going to get the lift up. Good. So now that I have this, I have the pressure coming upwards, a little bit of an arch. So it's to practice the lift without flattening completely. Okay? So that's what I'm doing here. And then as I'm in this position with the groin, I'm going to lift up and I'm going to do my core exercise this way. Feet pulled towards me, leg pulled towards me, right? And I'm actually rotating, but I'm not just rotating from the hips. I'm trying to get my stomach to push in this way to allow the rotation to happen. And I'm just keeping the tension in between the knees with the ball as I'm breathing. So this is all fundamentals, connecting the core. So then that way, as I start doing like the exciting things in the coming weeks, I have my foundation. Good, okay, good. I'm starting to get the feeling here, like I'll definitely have to work on this more. So the last one I'm gonna do is to get the pressure from the feet is I'm gonna do a bridge with it turned in. So as I do the bridge, this is key. So as I inhale and do the bridge, I'm gonna brace, and then as I exhale, pressure is coming in to support my weight to hold. So if I don't want to just lift up and squeeze my butt, because look, as I lift up and squeeze my butt, I'm promoting the same thing. My legs are turned out, my stomach is open here, right? I want big toes turned in, right? Thighs turned in, core pushed out, pelvis set in neutral, and then I can start. And when I'm doing a bridge, my butt squeezes because I'm at the top of my motion here. I'm not just trying to squeeze my butt the whole way to lift, okay? I am pushing my pelvis forward, and as I push my pelvis forward, it allows for the butt to squeeze. So that's the difference. So this is a bridge. This is just a bridge bad. This is like me just, okay, let's do the exercise, bad form, okay? I can do this tons of times. Eventually, where am I gonna feel it? I feel it outside of the legs, and I feel my back. Okay, this bridge, feet, and for me, so this is for most of my clients, but like as I see what's going on with their body, I can tweak it and adjust it to try to connect whatever they're doing. If you have these issues, they'll let me know. So from here, thigh, core, neutral pelvis. Okay, I can't change my pelvis angle anymore. So now as I push my feet, inhale, and brace, and exhale. Good. So now I start to feel my butt, and I can actually, I want to hold this because like my left hip is tight because this is the hip I collapse into. So I want to hold this and promote this left hip coming forward, and my butt is going to start to be on fire. But as I get this lift widening coming through the core, I'll start to shake as well. And what I'm doing here is as I push my feet in, I'm driving my knees to the wall, and I'm driving my head back to get this length to go from here to lift. I'll squeeze in a little bit more there, and then you can see the abs go. Good. So I'm trying to get my lift from here and not from here, right? Because if I go before, right, I'll just flare the ribs. I'm just lifting from my ribs here if I just go quick. But if I set my ribs, set my hips, pull in, set my core, and then come up, my motion is stopped because my core has stopped, right? I could let my hips go by flaring my ribs and come up higher, but that's poor form. Like right now, my hips are at their max because my butt's on and I still feel engaged. So this is what I'm working on today, and I actually really feel the tightness in my hips. So maybe we'll work on that tomorrow as well. But I know today was a lot. Hopefully you followed through. But to sum it up, I'm still doing core exercises, but now I'm connecting from the feet to the head rather than just like the main parts of the core. So I'm getting from the arch of my foot today, relaxing the outside so I can connect my groin, so that pushes my pubic bone up and allows everything to connect. And really not to make it too complex, as you're working out, it's what do you feel, right? I think the way to work out is to get your body awareness back and take you out of the day from doing all this in your head and just to bring it back into the body and to try to realign yourself so that you can feel better. Because if you feel like crap after you exercise, I really don't see the point in it. So anyways, food for thought. Thank you very much for joining me, and I'll see you tomorrow.